what Digital India program is, what are the vision areas of Digital India, and its Welcome to the world of Digital India. I am Sandhya, a Digi-Saver, and I will guide you through the Digital India program. In this module, we shall discuss about the role of digital technology in everyday life, understanding what Digital India program is, what are the vision areas of Digital India, and its 9 pillars. Remember the days when we had to pen down letters and walked to the nearest post box to drop them? And now, the evolution over the years has enabled us to send messages and letters in less than a second. Let's go back to older times where we had rotary dialer phones. These phones were replaced by mobile phones. Our everyday lives have never been so easy. All thanks to the digital technology which helps in making calls, chatting, sending emails, looking up for information within seconds. Let us now see how people are using digital technology in their day-to-day life. Preeti uses the internet to interact with her friends and to take online lessons. She uses an UPI Pay app on her phone to buy movie tickets, order food, book a cab, and recharge her metro card. For her, life is fun. Mrs. and Mr. Joseph narrated how easy it was to get a pension certificate from Jeevan Pramaan. For them, life is easier since they can book a doctor's appointment and buy grocery online. Mrs. Geeta said she was fairly surprised when internet worked wonders for her in getting a PAN card within a week. She explained how easily she got her company registered in a few clicks. She now plans to secure herself a position in government's e-marketplace. Mr. Naidu, an employee at Income Tax Department, shares how digitization has speeded up the taxation processes. He is glad that people can now pay their taxes online, avoiding the long hours of queue and processing a file. Citizens of India are utilizing digital technology to improve the quality of life at work and personally. It is amazing. But this is a small segment of the country. Studies reveal that out of 1.2 billion population, only 29% are internet users. The study brings us to a conclusion that there is a high percentage of people who have to go through the process of long waiting hours, stuck with paperwork, or have no access to public services. The Government of India has taken an initiative towards the betterment of country by bridging this gap of digital haves and digital have-nots. The initiative typically ensures that the government services reaches each and every household. To make this initiative work, it is important for citizens and government to interact on a common platform and avail the benefits of digital technology. Digital India is a program with a vision of transforming India into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. Digital India is an umbrella program covering many departments. It covers all schemes related to various departments of the Indian government. It pulls together many existing schemes to be restructured and aims toward digital and financial space. Easy access to a common service center, shareable private space on a public cloud, safe and secure cyberspace, The key components of second vision are seamlessly integrated across departments or jurisdictions. Services available in real time from online and mobile platform. All citizen entitlements to be available on the cloud. Services digitally transformed for improving ease of doing business. And secure cyberspace, making financial transactions electronic and cashless. The key components of second vision are leveraging GIS for decision support systems and development. The key components of third vision are universal digital literacy, universally accessible digital resources, all documents, certificates to be available on cloud, availability of digital resources, services in Indian languages, collaborative digital platforms for participative governance, portability of all entitlements through cloud. Let us now take a look at the 9 pillars of Digital India. Pillar 1. Broadband highways covers 3 subcomponents: broadband for all rural, broadband for all urban, and National Information Infrastructure (NII). Pillar 2. Universal access to mobile connectivity focuses on network penetration and filling the gaps in connectivity in the country. Pillar 3. Public Internet Access Program covers 2 subcomponents: Common Services Centers (CSCs) and post offices as multi-service centers. Pillar 4. E-Governance, reforming government through technology. Government process re-engineering using IT to simplify and make the government processes more efficient. Pillar 5. Reforming government through technology. Electronic delivery of services. Government process re-engineering using IT to simplify and make the government processes more efficient, transparency and reliability of such services at affordable costs. Pillar 6. Information to all. Online hosting of information and documents. Government proactively engages through social media and web-based platforms to inform citizens. Pillar 7. Electronics manufacturing focuses on promoting electronics manufacturing in the country with the target of net zero imports by 2020 as a striking demonstration of intent. Pillar 8. IT for jobs focuses on providing training to the youth in the skills required for availing employment opportunities in the ITES sector. Pillar 9. Early Harvest Programs. Early Harvest Program basically consists of those projects which are to be implemented within short timeline. Thank you for watching this video. To learn more about the vision and pillars of Digital India in detail, watch the next module.
The webinar will be starting very soon. Good afternoon and good evening, participants. Just few minutes time. There are setting issues going on. So panelists also joined. I hope you'll have a good session. Just give us a time and please type audio quality is okay. Just to give a chat window, just to type okay, so we can get a good feedback about it. Thank you. Very good evening, participants. We welcome you to Digital India Learning Management Team initiative of conducting this webinar in association with GSTN and MyGov portal. We appreciate your participation in the webinar despite your working schedules. Some of you are busy, and I hope you'll going to have a good session today. This webinar is going to be very informative as well as a knowledge sharing in GST payment process. I also request participants to take part in this webinar. This kind of webinars that regularly make use of the expertise in GST. We are conducting webinars every Wednesday, same time on GST in association with GST Network as well as MyGov. Our you can regularly take part in these webinars on various topics within GST. So we also request the participants, if you are having a Twitter account, please log into Twitter, DI Twitter account, which I already shared the link, and I'll also share one more time now. So please tweet about this webinar. So it will be very useful to us so that we can able to follow and also gives a good impression about the initiatives we have taken. And first of all, I thank my team members, Ms. Shalini and Prabhakar, for facilitating this webinar session. And I also thank two speakers of today's webinar session, very experienced hands in deploying a GST network as well as GST. They have a great amount of experience in the taxation. So definitely it is going to be a great way. And I also inform you, the participants, please use Q&A section for all your questions. See, there may be chances that some of the questions will be answered by the speakers in today itself, and some may not. But in case if you raise your question and answers in a Q&A section, all the question and answers will be answered and it will be uploaded in the KMS portal of Digital India. I hope my colleagues Shalini and Prabhakar will show you, if time permits, about how to download the question and answers of previous sessions, also available. So today's PPT, that is the presentation, is already uploaded in the KMS portal. Please download the PPTs, which is going to be shared by the speakers. So I hope you'll have a good session. I'll now conclude and I'll request my team member Shalini and Prabhakar to take over and pass on the housekeeping instructions. Thank you very much.
Very good afternoon, everyone. We will be starting the session around 3:30 sharp. We will take another few minutes to share the housekeeping instructions. Meanwhile, if you wish to download the PPT that we have shared, you may go to kms.negd.in. On the second screen of the KMS, if you scroll down, there is a search bar which you can see. In the search bar, you can actually type GST, and there the very updated link of the PPT is there. We'll shortly share the URL of the PPT as well. Catch you in another few minutes now.
Goods and services
Welcome, participants. In few minutes, the participation, with respect to your participation, I'm thankful. Thank you. I think now Prabhakar is showing the KMS portal. Now you can see the portal. Please just go to the top of this URL. When you scroll down to the second page, you will see search knowledge. So there you type GST, all GST related PPTs, videos, question and answers of the previous webinars, answered by name. Whomever asked the question with respect to their question, answered by the expertise, is available in the FAQs, whatever the FAQs. So you can please browse this page. It is a common page meant for knowledge management for various government departments. So you can go through this site. I request my team members one more time to scroll down, repeat the same thing so that participants can able to view. Can you please do it one more time? So kms.ngd.in, just type, the page will open. This is the landing page. Then go to the second page. You can scroll down, use your arrow down. Then you see the search knowledge. In search, just type GST. So all GST related videos and as well as the documents, everything is available. So there is a Q&A, all your Q&A. This is the reason we are requesting you to ask all your question and answers in Q&A section. So it is easy for us to sort and answer all your questions. And also the experts will have a clear idea about what kind of questions are they're supposed to answer in this session. So I hope it is useful. I hope, Shalini, please take over. Another 3 minutes, the session will take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Shilo. Thank you so much for the introduction and encouraging session that we are about to host for payment processes under GST. So there are certain housekeeping rules that we would like to share with each one of you. There are two windows as each one of us can see. One is a chat window where if there is any technical assistance that you require from our end, you may actually raise your hand or you may write your query in the chat box and we will try and assist each one of them. For any queries that you want, any questions that you have for the panelist, you may put them into the Q&A section so that we are able to facilitate the answers towards the end of the session. The session is timed for 30 minutes to 45 minutes. However, the Q&A is considered to be for 15 minutes. Let's see how many questions we can actually answer during that time. And towards the end of the session, we will be doing a poll where we would like to request you that rate the webinar that we are that we have hosted right now, so that we have the inputs for progressive learning in all the times to come. So this is what the basic things that we wanted to share with you. Now, as you're aware, there are two speakers that we have. One is Mr. Shri Kamleshwar Prasad Verma, who is a VP Services, and another speaker is Shri Bhagwan Patil. He's also VP Services at GSTN. Both both the speakers are the renowned speakers for GSTN, and they are helping us to accommodate the changes which are coming in the environment to be supported by us by answering all the questions that you have. So I would request now Mr. Kamleshwar Prasad to start over the session, and all the best to each one of us for the further learning.
Share screen. Yeah. Good afternoon to all and warm welcome to this webinar on payment processes. I am Bhagwan Patil and I have my colleague with me, KP Verma sir. He will also introduce himself. Yes, sir.
Myself, KP Verma, presently working as a VP Services. But my parent cadre is Commercial Tax Department, UP, and there I am working as an additional commissioner.
So we'll deal about the payment processes. Okay. So the agenda is overview of GST payments, modes of payment in GST, what are the restrictions and eligibility for payments, then creation and saving of challan. Challan is now single challan. We'll see how it is single challan and all those things. And next point is generation of challan and process of payment on GST portal, electronic cash ledger, track payment status, how to track your payments, and different type of payment status. So there is major change from original VAT era. You can see that the change is that there is single challan. Previously there were challans of different states. CBC was having different challan, and now there is single challan. So we'll go to things overview. So the chapter 10 of the CGST Act deals with payment process of tax actually. So section 49 envisages to payment of goods and service tax, interest, penalty, fee and other amounts. Section 50 deals with imposition of interest on delayed payment of tax. Section 51 pertains to tax deduction at source or TDS, what is normally called. And section 52 pertains to tax collection at source. Okay, thanks. So the major change is single challan actually. Single challan for all CGST, SGST, IGST and cess. Previously there were different challans for different states, different CBC also again, and for different acts also different challans were there. So major change is now single challan, and that's also basically e-challan, and no physical challan will be used. And challan includes all major heads, that is IGST, CGST, SGST and cess, and it also includes minor heads, tax, interest, penalty, fees, and payment through debit card. This is also a new era actually. Previously it was not possible to pay tax payments through debit card or credit card, and now it is, you can pay your payments through debit card, credit card or internet banking, then NEFT and RTGS. And just a small payment, you can up to 10,000 you can pay over the counter. So after demonetization we are trying to have cashless payment or cashless economy. So here you can pay most of the things through internet, and facility to make advance payments or deposits is also there, and all deposits will be part of electronic cash ledger. So this is again, yeah, this is again major change from previous era. Now your all payments will be actually deposited in cash ledger, and then you can utilize those payments for your payments actually, CGST, SGST or IGST. And then cross utilization is also an issue. It's possible in certain cases. We'll deal with that also. This slider actually. So there are two types of, you can pay payment with two types, pre-login payment and post-login. Both facilities are available actually. So in pre-login, when you try to pay with pre-login, you will have to type your GSTIN in particular challan format. And in post-login, you need not do anything. You have to just write your amounts, particularly whatever you want to pay. And maximum time limit of 15 days prescribed for making payment if challan is generated actually. And in post login, pre-fill challan except for amount. So you have to fill only amounts and no need to fill other data will be auto-populated from the system itself. Payments can be made through other than authorized banks also actually. So 25 banks are authorized banks, and other banks you can pay through other banks, but 25 are authorized by RBI, and those list also we'll see in few minutes. And facility to link for NEFT and RTGS, we have unique transaction number actually, and accordingly it will be used. And facility to generate challan with pay later option is also there available actually. Refund can be claimed for excess payments. So if you have any excess payments, you can claim refund of the same. So now we'll go for modes of payment in GST, because it's uh, quite paradigm shift from original old VAT era. So there are three modes of payments actually. You can have e-payment, including debit card and credit card. You have second mode, over the counter payment up to 10,000 per challan per tax period. You can have that part. And mode 3 is payment through RTGS and NEFT. So basically, the difference between old era and new era is that now there will be single challan, and which can be used for that payment. Cash payments can be accepted only by departmental officers in enforcement and recovery cases, because there is possibility that there may not be facility of internet in rural part or some part. So in those cases, in enforcement cases, if required, the cash payments can be accepted actually. So payment through single challan, you can see. So for all CGST, IGST, SGST says a single challan is there, and challan is also we have displayed challan. You can see the challan where tax, interest, penalty, fee, and others are seeing, and also you can see the CGST, IGST, and other acts. Restrictions and eligibility. So there are few restrictions. It's in case of OTC, over the counter payment, rupees 10,000 per challan per tax period is the limit actually. So this is for uh, uh, increasing the internet use and cashless payments actually. And check use for OTC either should be local. If it is outstation, it should be at par. In NEFT, RTGS, only check can be used, and maker checker whole process should be completed within validity period of CPIN. CPIN is a common portal identification number, and which will be valid for 15 days, and no physical copy of challan to be used for payment, any type of payment. Only electronically generated challan is allowed in GST era. So next part is creation and saving of challan. So process is pretty simple actually. Life will be very simple in GST era. The myths are that life will be very difficult, but I'm confident that life is very easy in GST era. You can visit gst.gov.in, that is GST portal, where you have to have file returns, registration, and payments. And please log in using your own credentials. Every taxpayer has its own credentials, so they will have to use their own credentials. Go to payments section in that, and go to create challan, click create challan, and fill the amounts as per major headwise, that is CGST, SGST, IGST, or cess. Also fill minor headwise tax, whether it is tax payment, interest payment, penalty, fee, or any other thing. Save challan for 7 days. If you required, you can save the challan. And for generation of challan, select mode of payment. Mode of payment we already discussed, whether it is debit card, credit card, or internet pay, through internet, or other things like OTC, NEFT, or RTGS. So this is the challan format you can see over the screen actually. You can see here CGST, IGST, and state SGST is there. They have shown. So, and these are the minor heads: tax, interest, penalty, fees, other. So these are the minor heads. You can also see below payment modes, actually e-payment and over the counter, that is OTC payment, and NEFT, RTGS. So once you choose this, then save challan, and then this is again part of that create challan. And again, this will be part, you will have to download, make payment, whatever you want to. You have to choose the bank also, where there are 25 banks, authorized banks. You have to choose your own bank through which you want to pay. And this is the challan part, and this is the actual payment receipt which you can see. Now we'll see about generation of challan and process of payment. So workflow description: e-payment mode through 25 authorized banks, that is by internet banking or credit card or debit card. Generation of e-challan at GST portal. So you'll have to use that www.gst.gov.in, and then you have to go to this payment challan creation, actually. And generation, once you create challan, you've seen how to create challan. You have to generate e-challan at GST portal, actually. And then taxpayer to select e-payment mode, you will have to select e-payment mode for net banking or credit card, debit card of any bank, or taxpayer to choose authorized bank in case of net banking, and payment gateway of authorized bank or their SPV in case of credit card or debit card. Not able to go down then. Yeah. So you can, there are 25 banks, actually authorized banks, you can see. So these are the banks, actually. You can choose your preferred bank, net banking, and credit debit card, whatever. You can see most of the government banks, all PSU banks are there, plus private banks are also there. Axis Bank, ICICI, SDFC, they are already there. And the mode 1 payment type, which you have seen, filling up the amount in e-challan at GST portal, selecting mode of payment, that is e-payment mode for generation of challan, is very important. And then triggering payment transaction to the bank's payment gateway, and then GST portal to transmit challan particulars, safe data sharing protocol. So this is very important. We have taken all safety measures, actually, to see that your payment is very in safe hands, actually. And taxpayer to make payment using their credentials provided by banks. So that's usual process of internet banking. Everybody is now familiar after demonetization how to make internet payments. And on successful completion of transaction, the bank will provide confirmation to GST portal. And then, of course, a lot of reconciliation thing goes through bank, Reserve Bank of India, and GST portal. So a lot of reconciliation process goes at back end, but you have to see that your payment is safe. Your payment will be safe. You need not worry. And taxpayer to make payment using their credentials. On successful completion of transaction, the bank will provide confirmation to GST portal, and GST portal will credit taxpayers ledger. So this is again deviation from old era, actually. So your ledger will be credited and the money then will have to be utilized. So and then payment particular challan wise will be available on GST portal for download or print. So my colleague will again discuss about this, sir, how we can have this GST portal. Can you explain the concept of ledger, actually? Yeah, you can speak.
एक्चुअली जीएसटी रेजिम में ये एक नया कंसेप्ट आया है इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कैश लेजर का. इसको आप इस तरह समझ सकते हैं कि ये एक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वॉलेट है. जैसे आप ई पेमेंट करते हैं या ऑनलाइन आप कोई परचेसिंग करते हैं, उसका जो पेमेंट करते हैं, तो उसके लिए आप अपने वॉलेट से या अपने अकाउंट से पेमेंट करते हैं. तो वही प्रक्रिया यहाँ पर भी है कि आपका एक कैश लेजर इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली मेंटेन किया जा रहा है। इसमें जो भी पैसा आप चालान के थ्रू डिपॉजिट करेंगे वो वहाँ पर आपका पैसा मेंटेन रहेगा, और जो भी आपकी लायबिलिटी आएगी, चाहे वो रिटर्न के थ्रू आए या अदर देन रिटर्न आए, तो उस लायबिलिटी को सेट ऑफ करने के लिए आप अपने कैश लेजर से अमाउंट को डेबिट करेंगे। तो ये थोड़ा सा परिवर्तन है पहले की तुलना में। यहाँ पर एक चीज़ मैं स्पष्ट करना चाहूँगा कि पुराने पीरियड में जो डेट ऑफ चालान होती थी, सपोज आपने 19 जुलाई को बैंक में पैसा जमा किया और आपको चालान की कॉपी मिल जाती थी, तो वो चालान ही आपका रिसीट हुआ करता था और डेट ऑफ डिपॉजिट आपकी 19 जुलाई ही मानी जाती थी। यहाँ पर आपको 2 डेट्स से साबका पड़ेगा, एक है डेट ऑफ डिपॉजिट, दूसरा है डेट ऑफ पेमेंट। जिस दिन आपने बैंक में पैसा चालान के थ्रू जमा किया, डिपॉजिट किया, और सिन एक्चुअली जैसा सर ने बताया कि पहले तो सी पिन जनरेट होता है, दैट इज कॉमन पोर्टल आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर। लेकिन जब आप बैंक में पैसा जमा करते हैं तो बैंक आपको सिन, कॉमन चालान आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर देता है। यह सिन जो आपको प्राप्त होता है, एक्चुअली यही सिन आपका जमा का प्रमाण होता है, और जो इसकी डेट होती है उसको डेट ऑफ डिपॉजिट कहा गया है जीएसटी पेमेंट रेजिम में। तो जीएसटी पेमेंट जो आप कर रहे हैं उसमें डेट ऑफ डिपॉजिट का इतना ही सिग्निफिकेंस है कि ये अमाउंट आपने जमा की है और ये आपके कैश लेजर में आ गई है। लेकिन जब तक आप अपनी लायबिलिटी को सेट ऑफ करने के लिए अपने कैश लेजर से अमाउंट को डेबिट नहीं करेंगे, तब तक आपकी अमाउंट वहीं पड़ी रहेगी और उसमें पड़ी होने के बावजूद आप पर लायबिलिटी बढ़ती जाएगी। लिहाजा जिस तारीख में आप डेबिट कर रहे हैं वो आपका डेट ऑफ पेमेंट है। ठीक है?
Yes, thank you, sir. So the mode 2, OTC remittance through authorized banks, actually we'll talk about that. For payment up to 10,000 rupees per challan per period, you can have over the counter payments. And of course, you have to use electronic challan first, then print it and then go to bank. So OTC payment at any branch of authorized bank through, you will have to use check or local payable at par at all branches of bank having presence at that location only. You can pay cash up to 10,000 or in demand draft format. So you can see that this is a deviation from original old era, VAT era. Then the generation of e-challan at GST portal you will have to do. And then for check payment, name of authorized bank, where instrument cash is to be presented, to be mandatorily filled in challan. Taxpayer to approach the branch at the authorized bank for payment of tax along with instrument. Only one instrument you will have to use to pay all taxes or cash for that 10,000 rupees. And then the next part is you'll have to fill up, of course, GST and name of the taxpayer and amount to be filled before retrieving CPIN actually. And on real-time basis, GST portal to share challan details with core banking system of those authorized banks. So that's a back-end process. You need not worry about that. And payment in cash or by same bank check will be possible. A unique transaction number actually will be generated. This is the bank wala part. You need not worry about that. Then payment by check drawn on another bank to inform GST portal about same when the instrument is given for OTC. Second acknowledgement once the check is realized, and bank to issue acknowledgement to taxpayer in 2 stages actually. So first stage is acknowledgement of check immediately, and second is upon realization of check issuance of BTR or BTN. And नेक्स्ट पार्ट इज जीएसटी पोर्टल टू क्रेडिट टैक्स पेयर्स लेजर. सो जैसे कि सर ने लेजर के बारे में विस्तारित रूप से बताया, एंड ही हैज very lucidly explained the concept of ledger and how to be used. It's a deviation from old VAT era. So, and this is the process flow which you can see over the screen. You can see taxpayer accesses GST portal, generation of e-challan. Then you can use either internet banking. You can use internet banking, credit card, debit card, or download and print, and pay at bank payment, gateway portal, pay at bank counter. So that's a usual process of payment. And that ledger will be credited and acknowledgement of receipt will be generated. And then update challan history. So here challan history updation you will be able to see after post login and not pre-login. Yeah. So third mode of payment through NEFT, RTGS through any bank. Actually, you have flexibility, a lot of flexibility. 5 modes are available to you, either internet or debit card, credit card, or OTC, or this NEFT and RTGS. And this bank can be other than any authorized bank. So that's usual process, and government responsibility to start when the remittance is received in RBI. So when your money, I would like to say something here also about the old era, that many, there was no reconciliation possible, and a lot of issues were coming about tax evasion and all those things. So those issues are taken care of in GST era. And then this third part, generation of e-challan at GST portal, generation of NEFT RTGS mandate at GSTN with key field auto-populated. So most of the fields will be auto-populated. You need not worry about same. Only you have to pay or show the amounts or enter the amounts, and then things will be taken care of. And of course, whatever charges are to be paid, those are to be paid by taxpayer for that NEFT and RTGS. Those are the normal bank charges. And communication of details to RBI by GST portal on real-time basis will be there. And taxpayer to print e-challan and NEFT RTGS mandate and approach his bank for payment. Payment would be permitted only against check for this actually, or by debiting the taxpayer's account. And then remittance amount to be transferred by bank to the government account in RBI along with challan and UTR number, which we have seen what is UTR. Bank to give UTR to the taxpayer, and taxpayer to communicate UTR to GST portal via SMS or update e-challan methodology modality, and RBI to validate payment against each challan with UTR received from remitter bank. So these are the detailed things. This is the process flow for that which you are seeing on the screen. This is almost same which you have already seen. So this is again process flow, and this is electronic cash ledger. Sir, would like to talk about electronic cash ledger.
जैसा कि अभी मैंने बताया, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कैश लेजर का कॉन्सेप्ट नया है और इसको PMT 05 की कोडिंग दी गई है। इसमें प्रयास ये किया गया है कि आपको जो सिन मिल रहा है उसका नंबर और उसकी डेट वो भी आ जाए, और बैंक जिस दिन GSTN को कम्युनिकेट करता है, यहाँ पे मैं थोड़ा स्पष्ट कर दूं कि आपका जो कैश लेजर है वो तभी अपडेट होता है जब बैंक सिन जनरेट करके उसको GSTN को कम्युनिकेट करता है। मान लीजिए आपके अकाउंट से पैसा डेबिट हो गया, सिन जनरेट हो गया, लेकिन बैंक ने किसी वजह से, चाहे वो टेक्निकल फेलियर हो, सिस्टम फेलियर हो, या इग्नोरेंस की वजह से सिन GSTN को कम्युनिकेट नहीं हुआ, तो यदि सिन कम्युनिकेट नहीं होता है तो आपका कैश लेजर अपडेट नहीं होगा। मान लीजिए आपने 19 जुलाई को डिपॉजिट किया, आपको सिन की जानकारी मिल गई, आपके अकाउंट से पैसा निकल गया, लेकिन कैश लेजर अपडेट नहीं हो रहा है। बैंक ने 3 दिन के बाद, आफ्टर 3 days ही बैंक कम्युनिकेटेड सिन टू GSTN। तो जब 3 दिन बाद आएगा तो वो जो डेट ऑफ रिपोर्टिंग है हम उसको भी इस लेजर में कवर कर रहे हैं। इसका पर्पस केवल ये है कि आपको बेनिफिट आपके डेट ऑफ डिपॉजिट से मिले, क्योंकि आपने तो डिपॉजिट कर दिया था, लेकिन बैंक की गलती की वजह से आपका वो पैसा 3 दिन लेट रहा, और 3 दिन लेट होने की वजह से आपका इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कैश लेजर अपडेट नहीं हुआ। तो मान लीजिए आफ्टर 3 days योर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कैश लेजर गेट्स अपडेटेड, तो अब प्रश्न ये उठता है कि लास्ट डेट मान लीजिए 20 जुलाई है रिटर्न फाइल करने की, और 20 जुलाई को ही आपने डिपॉजिट किया पैसा, लेकिन वो 3 दिन बाद कम्युनिकेट हुआ, तो आपका इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कैश लेजर अपडेट नहीं हुआ, वो अपडेट हो रहा 23 को। तो एज पर लॉ 3 दिन का डिले हुआ है, तो यहाँ पर पेनाल्टी और इंटरेस्ट की लायबिलिटी अट्रैक्ट होती है। लेकिन यदि 23 को, जिस दिन आपका कैश लेजर अपडेट हुआ है, और विद इन 24 आवर्स इफ यू डेबिट द अमाउंट अगेंस्ट योर लायबिलिटी, तो ये माना जाएगा कि आपने टाइमली डेबिट कर दिया है। और ऐसी स्थिति में ये जो 3 दिन की पेनाल्टी और इंटरेस्ट की बात आ रही है, ये आपका जो असेसिंग अथॉरिटी है ये इसको वेव कर सकता है। तो इस तरह इस लेजर में आप, ये लेजर केवल आप ही देख सकते हैं, आपके अलावा और कोई नहीं देख सकता। तो इस लेजर में आपको ये अलग अलग डेटा दिखाई पड़ेंगे, अलग जो आपने अमाउंट डिपॉजिट किया है वो दिखाई पड़ेंगे। यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि क्रॉस यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ द अमाउंट इज नॉट पॉसिबल इन जीएसटी रेजिम। यदि आपने सीजीएसटी में अमाउंट डिपॉजिट किया है, तो उसका यूटिलाइजेशन केवल और केवल एसजीएसटी लायबिलिटी के लिए ही हो सकता है, उसको आप सीजीएसटी लायबिलिटी के अगेंस्ट यूटिलाइज नहीं कर सकते। या यदि आपने सीजीएसटी में डिपॉजिट किया है, तो उसको सीजीएसटी की जो लायबिलिटी है उसके अगेंस्ट ही आप यूटिलाइज कर पाएंगे। तो इंटर या क्रॉस यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ द फंड्स इज नॉट पॉसिबल एट ऑल।
सर एक सवाल है यहाँ, वन क्वेश्चन हियर, whether I can use my IGST liability to cross utilize for SGST or CGST, and in which cases? Can you clarify?
नहीं, IGST लाइब,
IGST,
as I said earlier,
credit,
no,
IGST credit.
Credit, na?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. Credit that is related to your electronic credit ledger.
Yeah.
So IGST credit can be utilized firstly for IGST liability, then for CGST liability, and after that SGST liability. So IGST ITC can be utilized for all type of taxes, all type of interest, and for all acts, that is IGST Act, CGST as well as SGST. Whereas so far CGST ITC is concerned, CGST ITC can be utilized firstly against CGST liability and then IGST liability. It cannot be utilized for SGST liability. Similarly, SGST liability can be utilized through SGST payment. Sorry, SGST liability can be utilized through SGST ITC or IGST. No CGST ITC can be utilized for setting off your liability in the SGST.
Sir, what is reasoning for this? Why government is not allowing my money to be used for my own things?
Actually, central government and state government, there are two parties, and the amount is going separately to their considered fund. So, to maintain separate account, this phenomena has been evolved.
Okay. And what about custom? Now custom is having IGST. So what is that? I'm not understanding. Any, can you clarify?
Yes, of course, sir. If you are importing any goods from outside India, you have to pay IGST at the custom barrier, and that IGST will automatically flow to your ITC ledger, and you can utilize this ITC against your liability.
Okay. So you also can track your payments actually. So there is facility for tracking payments. Taxpayers will be intimated regarding the payment status by SMS, by email, and the same will be updated on GST portal. So they can check any time their history actually, challan history. In the pre-login mode, taxpayers can track their payment using track payment status facility on the GST portal under services, then go to payments and then track payment status. So you can see that life is quite simple in GST era. And in the post login mode, of course, taxpayers can access their challan history under services, then go to payments, then to challan history. So we have tried to make your life simple so that you should not have any difficulty in paying government dues. So you should have, you should focus on your business first, and you should forget about this compliance. Compliance cost should be minimum, that we are trying to do actually, and so that you can focus on your own business for development of our beloved country. So there are different types of payment status actually. So I'll request my colleague, sir, to talk about this. So first is about not paid amount.
As soon as the CPIN is generated and payment process is not initiated, that is, you have not initiated your payment, by default, the status of your challan will be not paid. When you initiate the payment process, the challan status from not paid to, it will change to initiated. So after initiating the process of payment, the challan status gets changed from not paid to initiated. And suppose the transaction is not completed due to any reason, then you, if you try to initiate second time for the same CPIN, you will not be able, because your status will remain initiated. This has been evolved just to avoid double deduction against one CPIN. When the transaction is completed, your amount has been debited from your account, but bank has not communicated SIN detail to GSTN, the status of your challan will be shown as failed. But you need not worry, because SIN has been generated and your amount has been debited. So after the end of day, after 8 p.m., during reconciliation, the GSTN will be in position to get the detail of the transaction, and your status of the challan will be changed to paid one.
Sir, I have a question here actually. If I pay on at 11:30 night on for today,
Yeah.
26 July,
Yeah.
so whether it will be credited on 26th or 27th, and why reasoning for that?
No, sir. The time, date and time will be same as you are using in calendar. If you are paying at 11:30, 26 July, the date of SIN will be 26 July and time will be 11:30.
Okay. So,
and you can utilize that amount on that same day.
okay.
Next one is paid at tax office. This is actually for enforcement activity. If any penalty amount or security amount is is to be paid by you, you can just pay to the enforcement officer. So in that case, the enforcement officer will create a challan on behalf of you and generate CPIN. On the basis of that CPIN, you will be getting a receipt. That will be, it will be the proof that you have paid the required security or the penalty amount. So in that case, yeah, the challan status will be paid at tax office. Similarly, in the case of debit card and credit card and maker checker concept, if you have initiated the payment through your card, bank will give the information regarding initiation of payment. But if the amount is not realized, the electronic cash ledger cannot be updated. So till that, your status will be awaiting bank confirmation.
Sir, one question here again. Can I use other person's debit or credit card for making my payments, tax payments?
Actually, previously it was decided that registration of your debit card or credit card will be on GST portal, but later on it has been dropped. So now you can use any debit card, any credit card.
So it's like any bank payment then?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can explain this expired.
So when your challan actually gets expired, and if you doesn't use it for 15 days, then that CPIN, whatever is common portal identification number, will not be valid, and you will have to again go through all the process of regeneration of challan, or create challan and generate challan and all that process. And this is, can you explain, sir, this MOU reversal concept? What is that?
Yeah. Suppose taxpayer has made a payment, not a payment, but deposited the amount, and on the basis of SIN, the cash ledger, electronic cash ledger has been updated. After end of day, when the reconciliation is started, and we find that there is a difference of any type, so GSTN will make a flag on your electronic cash ledger that there is some discrepancy, but you will be able to utilize that amount in the T+1 morning, that is date of transaction next day. So T+1 morning, when GSTN gets e-scroll from the RBI, it again reconciliates your transaction, and if it is fine that in e-scroll the data is different from what was received from the bank, then it will be an issue of memorandum of error. In that case, though your cash ledger has been updated earlier and you have also utilized that amount, but there will be a flag showing MOE. So this discrepancy will be communicated by the GSTN to accounting authorities. Accounting authorities will raise memorandum of error before RBI. RBI will get the clarification from the concerned bank branch, and after clarification, this issue will be resolved, and final solution will be communicated to GSTN. And if the solution is in favor of taxpayer, then the flag will be removed. And if it is going against taxpayer, then your liability will be increased through your electronic liability register, and that amount which you have already utilized will be recovered from you by your tax authority.
Sir, I have a question here. I'm a small taxpayer and I don't know what is CPIN, SIN and MOE. So whether I should remember all these things or I just pay my dues and do my focus on my business?
But this is the requirement, sir. Basically, CPIN is nothing but to enrollment of your challan in the portal, and SIN is just presently you are using bank number, challan number. So in place of challan number, now it is SIN, challan identification number.
So if it is CPIN mismatch, then what is the remedy to me?
Actually, this is the case of NEFT RTGS. Suppose you have made a payment through any of the authorized or other than authorized bank, and that amount is communicated, sent to RBI with UTR. Actually, in NEFT UTR, in NEFT RTGS, when the amount is deducted by the bank will provide a UTR number to taxpayer, and taxpayer has to upload that UTR on the GST portal, or he can send it through SMS also, and that UTR will be communicated to RBI by the GSTN. So RBI will compare your transaction amount on this data, and if there is any mismatch in your UTR number and UTR given by the bank and UTR provided by the GSTN, then it will be the transaction under CPIN mismatch. In that case, in the e-scroll, that amount will be shown as CPIN mismatch, and due to CPIN mismatch, GSTN will not be able to update your electronic cash ledger. And when the CPIN mismatch discrepancy is removed, then only your cash ledger will be updated, and you will be able to utilize your amount. Otherwise, you will not be able to utilize that amount.
Sir, can you talk something about reverse charge or and this transition provisions? Actually, I have a lot of questions about that. Just few things you can talk. Reverse charge.
Actually, reverse charge is a new mechanism, particularly white people. It is a concept borrowed from central excise, but it is similar to the concept of purchase tax. If you are a registered taxpayer and you are purchasing any goods from such a person who is not registered, that is, he is unregistered. So if you purchase any goods from unregistered person, the liability of purchase tax will lie with you, and you have to pay that amount, and you can get the credit of that amount. So in the same fashion, here we are using the word reverse charge. If you are purchasing from an unregistered person, the tax will be bared by you, and you will be utilizing that amount which you have paid on behalf of that supplier or taxpayer. Under the law, some certain commodities of services or goods have been put under a reverse charge mechanism. So in that case, the liability will solely depend upon the recipient. He has to bear the reverse charge, and he has to pay, and after paying, you can utilize that amount as ITC.
Okay, thank you, sir. We have tried to answer your most of the questions, and if you have any questions, you can again just write to us also.
Just one question I can explain.
Yeah, which
contract? The question is, how much GST to be paid in case of civil contract under government work and private sector work? Actually, there is no distinction between government work and private sector work. If it is a civil contract, you have to pay the tax in two categories. First one is 12%, and the second one is 18%. If you are paying tax at the rate of 12%, you will not be entitled for ITC. And if you are bearing liability at 18%, you will be entitled for ITC on the inward supplies.
These 25 authorized banks, we have already given in presentation also list of the banks. So I request my colleague, sir, to explain the concept of authorized bank and other banks.
Actually, most of the banks which we are using present regime has been taken as authorized bank, except 3 private banks. These are ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, and Axis Bank. So these 25 banks have been nominated as authorized bank. For mode 1 and mode 2, that is e-payment, and for OTC payment, you can make payment through these modes only from these 25 banks. But for NEFT RTGS, you can go to authorized banks as well as other than authorized banks. So only for NEFT mode, you have a wide range of options, but for mode 1 and mode 2, you have to opt only authorized banks list.
So actually there are a lot of questions on other topics of registration, composition, which we have already covered actually. And this form 3B also, there are some questions. Those all things are at our website also at www.gst.gov.in, and CBC website also, cbc.gov.in and cbc-gst.gov.in. So if you want any literature, actually we have FAQs, user manuals, then CBTs, videos, everything is available for your help. I sincerely request you all go to these websites and see for FAQs, user manuals, and videos and other tutorials. So it will help you to clear most of the doubts, what your questions, because we have got almost more than 400, around 400 questions. So it's not possible to answer in such short time. But I request you to go to these websites, and if you have any difficulty, Acha, there is one question. Can we pay GST through net banking? Of course, you can pay through net banking, because that is the only. There are we have already explained there are 5 modes of payments. Actually, I'll again repeat. First is net banking wala mode. Second is credit card and debit card payments mode. Actually, third is this OTC or over the counter payment up to 10,000 per challan per period. And next is this NEFT and RTGS. So these are the 5 modes which you can use for these payments actually.
Actually, net banking comes under e-payment.
Yeah. So it's e-payments actually, and you can do that very well. So thanks a lot to everybody, and we are always there to help you. If you have any questions, our mail IDs are there on our websites, and we'll be happy to serve you actually. And I'm sure that we have a long way to go. They say that the woods are lovely, dark and deep. Yeah, we have one question again. Does all states have single challan according to GST? Yeah, it's a single challan for CBSE also, service tax, central excise, all India level actually, all states also. So it's a one India, one nation, one market, and one portal also. One portal is our GST portal. So you need not go to anywhere as a taxpayer. You have to come to only one portal, that is GST portal maintained by GSTN. So nothing. It's very easy. Life has become very easy actually. You have to just come to our GST portal, and everything we'll take care of. So it's like one nation, one market, and one tax. So so almost we have covered all the questions actually, because and you can use our these portals again of GST, www.gst.go.in, and also for this CBC also. And if you have any questions, we'll be very happy to serve you. And lastly, we have question about NEFT payments are charged extra. I request my colleague to answer that.
Yes, it is the transaction between you and bank. So if under the bank practice any extra charge or transaction charge is prescribed, then it will be borne by the taxpayer. It is over and above the amount to be paid. What about TDS we used to deduct? For the 2 months up to August, the government has suspended the deduction of TDS. So you need not to deduct any amount from the payment till 31st August.
So I think we are at the fag end of this webinar, and we were very happy to answer a lot of questions. We have still a lot of questions, and we'll try to answer those through our mail chain. Actually, you can note down our mail IDs also. They are on our websites also. And we'll be very happy to answer. Lastly, they say that the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but we have promises to keep and miles to go before we sleep. So we'll be with that. Thanks a lot to all. Thanks.
Thanks.
It was a lovely session. We would like to thank both the speakers. I'm sure it was a pretty informative session for each one of us. We can actually see a lot of enthusiastic participation from each one of you with a lot of questions and queries and the details that you're trying to seek for. Just wait for some time. We are about to launch another poll where we would be just asking your opinion about the next webinar that we would like to host. Either that webinar has to be just Q&A session, or you would like to continue the pattern that we are already in with different subjects to be addressed. So bear with us just for another few minutes. Your feedbacks are always welcome. We value your participation and we value the time that you spend on learning with us. Not for this webinar, for whichever webinar that we host till date, we parallelly do host these webinars on our lms.negd.in and on a MyGov portal and on our YouTube channel as well. So at any point in time, during the webinar or for any next webinar, you may actually go and see there as well the webinar that we host. The recordings of these webinars are also available on lms.negd.in and on kms.negd.in. As our general manager, capacity building, Shilo Rao, did mention that we do upload the answers to all the queries that you have raised in the past. A compilation of all is generally carried out at kms.negd.in. We'll be closing in another few minutes. Once again, thank you so much for your participation. It's a very enthusiastic participation that we have seen. And we are happy that you are learning something bigger than what we could. Thank you so much. Good day.